So, Brett, obviously releasing any album is like a huge deal, but you've had this album in the works for a while, especially with Where the Light Meets the Sea, you wrote, a few years back. So, what has the anticipation been like for releasing this album?
The anticipation has been strong, especially, I put out Sunday Drive in the middle of the probably the heaviest part of the pandemic, and I couldn't tour it, I couldn't do anything. And so it was such an important record, I think, even for that time, because it was very reflective and a good time to be able to listen to a record like that. And we were all kind of looking at our lives and being forced almost to look and see who we are and what we're doing and everything. And so I think now being able to go back to touring and making this record and getting back to that energy, I think this has an extra level of excitement for a record that I've ever had. And I think it's in some ways feels like my first record in a way that I've discovered in a sound that I haven't had yet in a long time. So I think that's really exciting to be able to feel that good, to be able to put a record out and just know we did the best we possibly could as a team creating this. And at the end of the day, I can go to bed and think, man, I'm proud of that record. And I think a lot of people are going to be really moved by it. And I think that excitement is what I've always searched for in my music and never knew exactly how to say that until you start to feel that. And that's where I'm at right now.
Earlier this year, you talked a lot about self-acceptance and mental health. So I'm just wondering, how important was it for you to include these messages in the album? And then also, what is it like being vulnerable in the public eye?
Yeah, so it's so important for me. Basically, when I started the Sunday Drive record, and kind of just where I was in my life, and till now, even growing since then, was, kind of trying to find that self-love and that kid that I kind of ignored for a long time, because you're just chasing, your love for music or your love for the next stage or the next thing, which is amazing. And then you're also chasing the pressures, and you're feeling the pressures, and you're feeling all these different things. And, a lot of people pulling at you from different ways in this life, no matter what you do, and people wanting things, and you want to make everybody happy. And I always got to that place where I want to make everybody happy and please everybody and make them feel good. And then I felt empty. So I really had to do that work. And Sunday Drive was the start of that work for me. And Songs About You is the stepping into myself in a way that I never even could have imagined that I could. And I still have my days, but when I going through making this record, I've never felt more confident in myself and strongly about what I'm doing, the music I'm making, and even more importantly, the person that I am away from all the music. And I think being defined less by, the work that I do, but I want to be defined by the person that I do that defines my music, And so I really had to work on myself, and I wanted to make a record like that encourages others to really find that self-acceptance and not be so hard on yourself. And, there's songs in this record that are about standing up for yourself and against the worries in your mind and the bullies out there and all these things, and just being there for you. And I think that's such an important thing. So that's really been a powerful thing for me. Being vulnerable in the public eye, it's never not scary sometimes, but that's why I do it. I think I learned to chase it instead of, it's empowering for sure, and it makes me want to talk about it more and make sure everybody realizes that we're all, trying to make it through this life together, and that we're all gonna have worries and things that we're scared of, and that's the most human thing possible. And I want to be here to be a voice for that, and also talk about the real life stuff in the public eye. Can be scary. It makes me sometimes get even break into sweats and nervous, and sometimes I used to have panic attacks on camera because I thought it was not good to show any of that fear or any of that. And then really what I found out was that that's your superpower, is to accept that and to be able to talk about it. And even though I might feel nauseous or like I'm gonna get sick because I'm about to say something important that is important to me, or that makes me feel very vulnerable, and I'm about to have to admit that I'm human, that I have all these problems. It's like, that's why I should do it, and that's why I should double down and really speak about it. And that's really helped me a lot. And I would encourage everybody that to give it that shot, because it's worth it.
Do you have any fun memories or moments from when you were writing the album or in the studio with your team that you want to share?
Yeah, writing the album, I had a lot of moments. I think I got this place where I actually got to be home in Nashville for once, which was really unique, and for a decent amount of time. Like, I blocked off this time to write and just give myself time to finish out this record, or to make this record. And I found myself like getting in a routine of like writing songs almost every day, because I was in a place of preparing myself for that, and just giving myself the space to not write a song that day because I want to go for a hike, and maybe I'll get ideas from it. Maybe I'll take 3 days off, and giving myself the time and the space to breathe, as opposed to just, what is the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? Really opened up my creative mind in such a way that I really needed to experience. And so, waking up every morning, coming up with these different melodies and song ideas, and waking up in the middle of the night and getting up to write them down and record them. I had that with Want That Back, waking up at 3 a.m. to jump up and record that whole chorus on my phone. And, I just had a lot of kind of those aha moments with this one. And also just giving myself that space to get in kind of a flow state, as they call it. It's the first time I've really felt a flow state where you just like, everything is clicking in a way that's like, I know exactly what I want. I feel like I know who I am. I know the record I'm making. I know the map. I know the thing that I'm going after. And when you get to that, whatever you're doing in life, that's a beautiful place to be, because sometimes you're just not going to be there, and you wait, but you have to keep showing up for those windows to pop up. And I think that's what I did, was not giving up and going a little farther.